The 10th largest nuclear power plant in all the world is vulnerable. Vulnerable to missile and artillery attacks from nearby fighting, from the interruptions of the power supply, and the possibility of human error. Think Chernobyl or 3 Mile Island. There are thousands of plant personnel said to be working, just as Josh said, under dire conditions, and sometimes, according to Ukrainian officials, ordered at gunpoint to work. With us now, Mariana Bujarin, a nuclear expert and senior research associate at Harvard's Belfer Center. Mariana, thanks. What's your assessment? How dangerous is this?
The situation is not good, Shepard, at all, to put it mildly. Europe's largest nuclear power plant is now completely off the grid. As you said, that has never happened before. Nuclear power plants, they're very involved. They're very robust facilities. They have very stringent safety and security systems and protocols, but none of these systems was designed to operate in a war zone. In the conditions that we see right now, and the plant is not designed to operate off the grid for any extended period of time. So this is really not good at all.
No power supply could lead to a loss of cooling and a meltdown. After today's incident, is there a greater risk of that happening, or are there enough safeguards in place to prevent that?
Well, normally we know that Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant does have backup electricity supply. These diesel-powered generators, there are about 20 of them, if we believe Ukrainian authorities. What we don't know is how much diesel fuel is there to power these generators. We don't know if that fuel hasn't been siphoned off, for instance, by the occupying authorities. And the emergency systems are exactly that. They're kicking in at the time of emergency. They're not meant to keep a power plant running for any extended period of time. So it needs to be reconnected to a proper power supply.
You've read the reports that Putin wants to cut off Ukraine and redirect all of that power back to Russia. Is that even possible, and how risky would that be?
That really depends on the electrical grid infrastructure that might be available for the Russians. And that is something we need to keep an eye on. There are reports that the electrical grid infrastructure that could possibly connect this power station to, say, Crimea is simply insufficient to handle that kind of electricity output. But even disconnecting that plant from the Ukrainian grid endangers that grid, endangers the Ukrainian grid, and could possibly lead to a cascading grid failure where there isn't enough electricity supply to, for instance, power pipelines and other critical infrastructure that produces energy. And so it snowballs into basically a huge critical infrastructure crisis.
Mariana Bujarin on the difficult situation in Ukraine tonight. Thank you.